DreAllDay.com.
Tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. That is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, especially yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And we put all this together into one framework, one philosophy. We have codified our entire system to learn this process from top to bottom. We wrote a hardcover book on the subject. We got an open enrollment university open right now at workonyourgameuniversity.com, and you're listening to the daily masterclass that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic: why you suck at politics. Why politics is kicking your ass, and you think politics is a negative thing, why politics has never worked for you. But we're going to fix all of that here today. First of all, we're going to diagnose the issue. Then I'm going to give you the medicine to actually fix it. That's the process that we're going to follow here at Work on Your Game. Now, when I'm talking about politics here, and I've talked about politics a lot on this show, but I haven't talked about it as directly as I have needed to just yet. But today we are resolving that issue. And when I say politics here, I'm saying politics with air quotes, okay? I'm not talking about the government or the mayor or the president or the Senate or the House. I'm not talking about that kind of politics. I'm talking about politics meaning, here's the Work on Your Game definition of politics: taking actions to protect or advance your own personal interests that involve other people. So let me say that one more time. Actions that you take involving other people to either protect or further your own personal interests. Though that is politics. All right, so when I say politics, that's what I'm talking about. So anytime that you have felt like people are being political, or you're not political enough, or politics has worked against you, you're absolutely right. Yeah, people are being political. Every human being on this planet is political. You listening to this show right now is political because you're doing something that's going to further your own interests. You saw the topic and you said, okay, maybe something that this person is saying is going to help me out. That's the reason that you're listening to it. You are taking an action to further your own interests through what you're listening to from me. All right, that's politics. If you talk to somebody in a way to make them feel good about you because eventually you're going to want something from them, that's politics. If you give someone a gift because you know the reciprocity principle within all human beings, eventually they're going to do something for you, maybe today, maybe 3 years down the line, that is politics. If you go hire a coach, they're going to help you, that's politics. Anything that you do to further your own personal interests is politics, okay? So that right there, if I just cut the episode off right there, I think I changed a lot of people's minds about the very concept of politics, but we're going to go even further. So I make sure that you understand this not only on the surface, that you understand it, but also you not only understand it logically, but understand emotionally why politics is not a thing that you should abhor, not a thing that you should have an aversion to, a thing that you should actually embrace and start playing the game of politics so the game stops playing you. Because I did an entire masterclass about not complaining and actually playing the game in life, and I think that would help a whole lot of people out here. In episode 13, 14, I told you that hustling is learning how to play the game in life. In episode number 12, 10, don't complain, play the game. Politics is a game, and this show is called Work on Your Game. So we're going to point out all these games that are going on in life, and we're going to make sure you understand that this is a game that you either are going to play or you're going to get played. And in the world of politics, all of us being in politics, right now you're either playing the game or you're getting played. And from what I've seen, my observation of just human beings in general is a majority of people are getting played in this game because they think that this is a game that they don't belong in or they shouldn't be in, or they feel like it may be a little bit immoral to be in this game. We're going to fix all of that shit here today. All right, everybody all right with that? Good. Point number one. The topic once again is why you are trash at politics. Number one reason you're trash at politics is that you abhor the very concept of politics. You have an aversion to it. You hate politics. You don't like people who you deem to be political. You don't feel like you need to be political to get to where you want to go. You want to do it another way that you think is more quote unquote honest. All right, this is the reason why you're trash at politics. This is the reason why politics is kicking your ass, because you refuse to play the game. You see politics as this is how you define politics. Now, I gave you my definition of politics: taking actions through or with other people to protect or further your own personal interests. But you see politics as people being shady, backstabbing, deceitful, dishonest, and taking advantage of other people. That's how you defined politics before you came to today's episode. But you don't define it like that anymore, right? Because we have addressed that already. You think Politics means people who have connections and people who have lots of friends and have networks. That means that they're obviously not hard workers and they haven't earned what they have because they got to where they got to just because they know people or somebody knows them or they were just in the right place at the right time. And you also believe that when you say earning your success or earning your outcomes, you think that means doing 100% of the work. I'm here to let you know that all of those things are bullshit. They are wrong. All right, you had the wrong idea what politics was about, but I'm here to set you straight here today, okay? I will help you extinguish this toxic mentality that you have about politics. Understand, I just talked about this in yesterday's episode, that what you're going to do for the year 2021. You will get a lot more done through your connections and positive relations with other people than you will ever get done on your own. I don't care how hard of a worker you are, how disciplined, confident, mentally tough, and how much personal initiative you take. There is only so much you can get done by yourself. You will need other people to get more done. There's only so much any human being is capable of in a vacuum. But when you have leverage, you can get a whole lot done. And that's why politics matters a lot. Politics, again, is just making connections. When things don't work out for us based on our lack of connections, we call it politics. But when things work out for us based on our connections and the people that we know, we call it having relationships, or we call it networking, right? It's all the same thing. Networking, having relationships, politics, all the exact same thing. They're just different sides of the exact same coin. They're actually the same coin. They all got the same thing on both sides. It's just, we just label it differently based on how the outcomes turn out for us. So when we know a bunch of people and shit works, we're like, yeah, I did that because I got relationships. I'll be networking out here. But when things don't work for us, we're like, oh, it's politics. People being political and, they're not recognizing me for my hard work and for my skills. They're only recognizing the people who know each other. Bullshit. It's all the same thing. If someone gets an opportunity over you because they know people and you don't, that means you were politically weak. That's why you didn't get the opportunity, and that's the way it should be. So if you want to get the opportunity next time, don't complain about the fact that somebody knows someone. You become one of the people who knows people so that you can get the opportunity. Combine the fact that you know people with your actual skill. What can stop you? Nothing. So if you feel like you have all the skill and all the game, yet you don't know anybody, and that's the reason why things aren't working for you, all right, what are you going to do about that? Now, if I was to offer you $1 million to come up with the most efficient answer to that question, what would it be? Would it be complain about it? Would it be I don't know? That's definitely the wrong answer. Would it be to bitch about the fact that other people have connections that you don't have? Or would it be, here's the right answer, how about you become one of the people who has a connection so that when they see your skill on top of the connection, it's a no-brainer and it's not even a question between you and anybody else. You become the only option. How about that? Wouldn't that help you a lot? You do not need to do 100% of the work. You cannot do 100% of the work. You are not capable of doing 100% of the work. You don't have the skill to do all the work. You don't have the skill to, quote unquote, earn it by doing everything by yourself. I know somebody told you that. I know maybe you saw someone who appeared to be an example of that. They were not. They were either lying to you or they just didn't tell you the entire story. You can't do it all by yourself. You ain't got the time. You don't have the talent. All right, you don't have the ability. And let me tell you something else. You don't want to have the time, talent, or ability to do everything by yourself, because by the time you get it all done, time will be up. All right, you won't even have enough time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And while you're doing all that work, somebody still got to be out there getting the word out. Who's going to be doing that while you're doing all the work? No, you forgot about that part, huh? I'm going to help you extinguish this toxic mentality here today. Again, keep this in mind. You will get a lot more done with and through other people than you will ever get done by yourself. There's only so much any one human being is capable of, even you. Point number 2. Today's topic is why you suck at politics. You have been indoctrinated with the idea that you need to do everything on your own, which I have just explained to you more than once in the first 10 minutes of this episode, that is impossible. You can't do everything on your own. So if you've been indoctrinated with the idea that you need to do everything on your own, but now realizing that it's impossible, guess what you have set yourself up for? Failure. You have set yourself up for a life of failure, a life of less than, a life of mediocrity, a life of underachievement, because you are trying to do something that you are functionally incapable of doing. There is no way you will ever do that, even if you try the rest of your life. Even if you listen to every episode of this show 3 times, you will never have the ability to do everything by yourself, but somebody told you that you needed to. Probably you. Any of you who's a solopreneur or freelancer, when we first start off in our endeavors, we had to do everything on our own, right? And this is something that I even advocate to you that before you start delegating work to anyone, you know how to do that work so that when you delegate it to them and they do it, you know how to check on it. You know what it's supposed to look like, what it's supposed to sound and smell like and taste like. So if they did it wrong, you can point out what they did wrong, why they did it wrong, and how to fix it to make sure that the process is right. I advocate that you know how to do everything on your job, at least when you first start delegating, so that your delegation goes smoothly. But do not get into the mentality of thinking that networking and leveraging relationships is some kind of cheat code or shortcut. You're not cheating to leverage other people's relationships. You're not cheating to know somebody who pushes you to the front of the line instead of having to stand in line behind 163 people. All right, that's not a cheat code. You're not shortcutting. That's just playing the game. All right, this is what allows you to spread your hard work to the masses, is knowing someone who knows someone. So if you're the type of person who's good at spreading the word about something, but you're not good at actually creating the thing, then it will be smart of you to leverage someone who knows how to create the thing. You help them, they help you. You give them what they need, they give you what you need. Win-win situation, and the public wins because they get the thing that they need. If you're great at doing things, but you're not great getting the word out, find somebody who's great at getting the word out. So they don't know how to create though. So you give them what they need, something to get the word out about. They give you what you need, your ability to get the word out. Everybody wins. This is a win-win-win situation because the public wins again because they get what they need. So make sure that, first of all, you understand who you are. You understand what you're bringing to the table. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Where do you need help? What are you not good at? And you should also stop trying to become good at. You just need to get someone in place who is good at it so that you can help them and they can help you. This is politics. Maybe you don't look at that as politicking. Maybe you look at that as partnerships. You look at that as making connections. You look at that as hiring people. You look at that as finding the synergy. All of it is the same thing. Anything in which you are working with or through other people in order for everybody to benefit is politics. This is what allows you, again, to take what you're great at, combine it with what someone else is great at, put it all together, and everybody wins as a result. All right, this is how politics works. This is what smart people do all their lives. Look around at people who are well known for having created success. None of them did it 100% by themselves. They have people with them, people working for them, people working next to them, people who do things that they don't have to do, or at least providing information about which things that person should do so that they get more done more efficiently and get to it faster, or get to it in ways that they otherwise would never have gotten to it because they didn't have the ability to do so. This is all part of the game, people. And if you've been indoctrinated with this idea that you have to do it all on your own and you have to just beat out everybody by yourself. And I talked about this in a recent episode where I talked about when you're not part of the in crowd in life, what are you supposed to do in those situations? Understand that doesn't mean that you had to do everything exactly by yourself. You can build your own crowd. I talked about that too. Episode number 1673, what to do when you're not part of the in crowd, just a couple weeks ago. Solopreneurs, when we start out, we do have to do everything on our own, but we're allowed to spread our hard work to the masses through doing things through other people. Whether that's somebody who can help sell your stuff, somebody who's great at creating the stuff, and maybe you're the great salesperson, whatever it is. In anything in life, you're a great athlete, for example. You might not be that great at physical therapy. You probably don't know a damn thing about physical therapy, even though you're an athlete. You're good at doing the performance. So a physical therapist can help you fix any imbalances in your body. If you get any repetitive use injuries, they can point out what the problem is and give you some ways to correct it, and they can help you stay healthy so you can do your thing out there on that court. Any of you heard of a high achieving professional athlete who doesn't have a trainer? No, you haven't. Why is that? Because they all understand, maybe somebody told them, maybe they just inherently understood it, that the trainer is a person who knows some things about certain areas that the athlete doesn't know. The athlete knows how to put the ball in the basket. The trainer knows how to keep your body in the best shape so you can put the ball in the basket. Those are two different skills. You don't have to do it all by yourself. And you are helping them the same way that they're helping you when you go find one of those individuals, because they need somebody to train and you need somebody to train you. Everybody's winning in this situation. These are all win-win situations. Point number 3. Topic once again today is why you suck at politics. You have the bad idea that more hard work will solve all your problems. No, stop thinking this. More hard work will not solve all your problems. I did a masterclass on this, that hard work ain't enough. All right, I talked about this in masterclass, I believe it was 1139, that It's going to take more than hard work. Yes, 1139 takes more than hard work. And you can get the full masterclass video, 90-minute video at hardworkaintenough.com for free. Hard work does not solve all your problems, people. Now, is hard work a solution to some problems? Absolutely. Should you work hard? Yes, you should. Is hard work part of the work on your game philosophy? Yes, it is. But understand, it is not the entire game. Some of you have been indoctrinated with this concept that you just need to work hard, and everything's going to work out. Or when things are not working out, you're wondering why they're not working out because you work hard and work hard and work hard. Well, the reason they're not working out is because somebody gave you bad information, or actually they didn't give you bad information. They only gave you partial information. They told you need to work hard, and they weren't lying when they told you that. Thing is, they didn't tell you the rest of the story. There's a lot more that goes into it. In that Hard Work Ain't Enough masterclass, for example, there are 8 elements that go with hard work in order for you to create success. And if you're missing one of those 8, you will not create success. Yes, 8 in addition to hard work. So if all you've been doing is hard working, like what percentage have you actually done? You've done just over 10% of what needs to be done for you to create success. No wonder you're not getting the outcome you want. This concept of hard work in order to create success is the fault of the hustle porn industry that we have nowadays, online and everywhere else, where people are only telling you about the hard work that either they did or the hard work that some person that you heard of did, but they're not telling you about the maneuvers that same person did in order to make connections and build relationships that leveraged the hard work into actual results. Hard work does not necessarily equal results. Has any of you ever worked really hard on something, but you still didn't have any result from it, despite the fact you were working really hard? I know I have. Hard work does not equal results directly. Yes, hard work, again, is an element of creating a result, but there are other things that have to go with the hard work to get to the result. Hard work is kind of like the ingredients for baking a cake, but until you put the ingredients together in the right amounts and mix them up the right way, in the right order, then you put them in an oven that's heated to the right temperature for the right amount of time, then you don't get a result. You don't get a cake. You got all the ingredients, but you have no cake because you haven't put it all together in the right way. So hard work, again, is just an element. It is not the entire game. I worked hard to develop the work on your game philosophy over years of experience, trial and error, and strategy. But understand, unless I made some good connections with the right people in the right places, it wouldn't matter that I had even created it, because the people who needed it, people like you, wouldn't even know that it existed. And there are people out there right now who need this philosophy. They don't know it exists yet, and we got to go to work to figure out how to get to those people. And it doesn't necessarily mean we just need to work hard on what we're doing. We may have to look at some other things. Maybe we got to employ some different strategies in order to get to the people that we need to get to. This is all part of the game. Again, this is part of the strategizing of the game. This is part of the insight of the game. It's not necessarily, let's just do more hard work and hopefully people just appear magically out of nowhere. It doesn't work that way. And if you ever tried it, you probably already noticed. Point number 4. Today's topic, once again, is why you suck at politics. The 4th reason you suck at politics is because you expect the world to beat a path to your door. And that's not how it works. I mean, how long have you been expecting that? And how much longer do you plan on waiting before you realize that is a faulty strategy? The world is not going to beat a path to your door just because you're working hard, or just because you are good, or just because you feel like you have talent, or just because you feel you deserve it, or you want it, or anything else you want to fill in that blank with that you feel like means you are owed something or something belongs to you. That's not the way the world works. Building a better mousetrap, ladies and gentlemen, is a great idea. But that's not the entire job. Once you build a better mousetrap, now you got to let the mice know that the mousetrap exists. Now you got to make sure the world knows that the mousetrap is there so that they can, come and get on the mousetrap and they can get caught in the trap. If you build a better mousetrap, you still got to get the mice into the trap. So you might have to put a little bit of cheese on the mousetrap to get the mouse to come out and take a look at what you got going on there. All right, and they can let the world know. Other people who have mice, they need to catch their mice too. You got to make sure the world knows what you've built and how it works for them and why it's better, so that they will know, hey, I need to get one of those mouse traps for myself. But this is all part of the showing your game aspect and the work on your game system. There are 3 steps to the entire work on your game process. Only 3. First is you work on your game, then you show your game to the world, and then you get the ROI from your game. And all of these there's a process within each one of these frameworks, there's frameworks within them. And understand that second part is probably the hardest part that a lot of people have when they come my way, because you're listening to this show called Work on Your Game. So I think If you're listening to this, you have a pretty good concept of developing your game and developing skill. Doesn't mean you're finished with that process, but you have a pretty good concept of how it works. The challenge that many people have once they come to me is showing their game, getting people to actually recognize their game, getting the right people to recognize their game, and getting the right people to recognize the elements of their game that matter to those people so that people really realize how good you actually are. Because you might be showing them your game, but you're showing them parts that don't really matter to them, then it doesn't really matter. They're not going to do anything with it. So that showing your game aspect, understand you got to be able to, first of all, create an opportunity for people to even look at you, and then get your point across of what they're looking at and why it matters to them. This is all your job. This is all part of the showing your game process in the Work on Your Game system. And you can learn more about that at workonyourgameuniversity.com. You got to make sure the world knows about the mousetrap that you built and how they can get one for themselves. First of all, why they need to get one, and then how to get one. Don't get stuck on the hamster wheel of, especially those of you who are creatives out there. And I found that there are a lot more creatives out there than there are marketers. Don't get stuck in the creative hamster wheel and never put focus on showing your game. All right, showing your game is just as important as having game. When I was playing ball, I felt like I was good at ball. I felt like I was good enough to play pro, but nobody knew who the hell I was. And it wasn't until I took steps to make sure people knew who I was that it even mattered that I was good. Otherwise, I'd just be another good player who nobody knew about. And these days, every day, I hear from athletes who feel like they have game, feel like they have talent, but nobody knows who the hell they are. They haven't been seen yet by the people who can do something for them. And until they take the steps to get seen, then they will forever be an anonymously great basketball player. If you feel like you are anonymously great at what you do right now, it is your job. It is not the world's job. It is not the industry's job. It is not the consumer's job or your customer's job. It is your job to get seen and known by the people who need to know about what you're offering. Again, that is all part of the show your game aspect of the Work on Your Game system. Don't get stuck in just getting good at what you do, but never focusing on making sure people know that you're good. Marketing is all about building a relationship. Marketing is politics, people. Marketing, letting people know what you do, how you do it, why it matters to them, and why they need to go get it. This is all politics. It is you working with or through other people to advance or further your personal interests. And it's politics for them too, because what you're sharing with them will advance or further their personal interests. What you're offering them is going to help them out. All right, this is politics. So what I'm trying to help you do here today is look at politics in a different way than maybe how you've been looking at it. Because if you look at politics in a different way, maybe you'll start embracing it instead of running away from it, using it instead of talking negatively about it, and it will start working for you instead of working against you. Let's recap today's class, which is why you are trash at politics. My Work on Your Game definition of politics is taking actions with or through other people to protect or further your own personal interests. Number one, reason you suck, you abhor the very concept. You think politics means being shady, backstabbing, deceitful, dishonest, taking advantage of other people, that anybody who has connections and friends and networks, they aren't hard workers, they haven't earned what they have. That earning means you got to do 100% of the work. All wrong, all 100% wrong. Do not use those concepts ever again. Diminish these thoughts. I will help you extinguish this toxic mentality and remember that you get a lot more done through other people than you will ever get done on your own. Number two, you have been indoctrinated with the idea that you need to do everything on your own, which is functionally impossible, which means you have set yourself up for failure. There is no way you can possibly succeed if you believe in that concept. When we first start out doing stuff, a lot of times we got to do all the work on our own because it's just us. And I advocate that you know how to do everything on your own because at the beginning you ain't going to have no choice. But don't think that networking and leveraging relationships is some kind of cheating or is a shortcut and it means you haven't done all the work that you're supposed to do. All right, the only way you can spread what you're doing to all the people who need it is through other people because you don't have all the skills. Number three, you had the bad idea that more hard work will solve all your problems. This is a terrible idea. And this is the fault of the hustle porn industry out here that only tells you about the hard work that people did to reach success, but they don't tell you about all the other maneuvers that person did to go along with the hard work to get there. I did a master class called Hard Work Ain't Enough. You can get it at hardworkaintenough.com so you can learn that you need other things besides hard work to create success in life. And number four, you expect the world to beat a path to your door. That is not how it works. If you've been waiting, when's the last time somebody knocked on your door? Building a better mousetrap is a great idea, but that is not the whole job. Now you got to let people know that you have a mousetrap, why it's better, what it does for them, why it matters to them, and what they need to do to go get one. All of those are part of the show your game and get the ROI aspects of the work on your game system. It is not just developing your game, which is point number one. A lot of people get stuck here, working on their game, working, but they never advance to step two, showing your game, and step three, collecting the ROI from your game. We help you with that. If you would just go to workonyourgameuniversity.com, we are enrolling right now. Work on your game. Dre all day.